Hello and welcome back to Talkin Bengals. We're not walking anything tonight, except for maybe some batters in the World Baseball Classic going on right now between Venezuela and the United States of America on one of our Irish holidays that we like to celebrate. So happy St. Patrick's Day to all you Bengals fans out there. Remember, if you're watching this either live or just watching back the replay, make sure to follow us, follow, subscribe on all of your social medias at Talkin_Bengals. And remember, there's no G because Burnsy's not here, still out with malaria or whatever weird disease he has. It's down there at the bottom of our screen there, scrolling there. Also, check out our Etsy store, Cesian Enterprises, as well as our Talkin Bengals website, talkinbengals.com. So this week, we have a couple things to talk about. I'm going to keep it kind of brief this week. As you can see, it is just me, the Hoop, and we are waiting for essentially draft day. This is going to be kind of a awkward period before the draft on, what are we going to do for the Bengals? Who are they going to go for? What kind of free agency picks are they going to make last minute? Or are they just going to wait? Are we going to wait to see who we can pick up in the draft? Who's next best available? So first things first, episode 168 coming live here. We have the draft strategy overall. For overall, we're 10th round over. We're the 10th pick in the first round. We've already picked up Jonathan Allen on a 2-year deal. Veteran tackle coming in. I do think that was a good pickup. I'd like to see what you guys think in our comment section there. Just see, I think the veteran presence on the offensive line is really where we're going to see a lot of the positive outlook there. The big thing that I think he's going to bring is that kind of leadership mentality to our defensive line. That's something our defensive line really needs. And getting Boye Mafe in, getting Jonathan Allen, I think that adds to that leadership. And I think that Miles Murphy coming back after a pretty big year, I think that's going to be a really good addition on our defensive side. I think that we still haven't addressed a few things, but we did pick up Josh Johnson, one of just a backup quarterback, just in case Joe Burrow goes down. I think that was a terrible move, but we did get him for a pretty cheap price. So what the hey? We're still waiting on Joe Flacco to see if he's going to get a starting role somewhere. So we're waiting to figure that one out. Hopefully for Joe, everything works out well. If he realizes he's not getting a starting role, hopefully he just signs with the Bengals to be kind of like a peer mentor or like a player coach for Joe Burrow. See how he can help out with Joe. Breaking that barrier for the Bengals to get that Super Bowl this upcoming season. Let's see. Of course, all of the quote-unquote experts have their say of, what we're potentially looking for and yada, whatever. Of course, we know that this show is for the fans and by the fans, which is the reason why the three of our other hosts are not here. Because they have real jobs in the real world and they're working their butts off, being dads, being husbands, being fathers. And that is very important. So hopefully everything's going well for the other guys. Kind of looking for defensive upgrades right now, mainly in the focus of the defensive backfield and at linebacker. I don't know why we haven't reached extension deals for DJ Turner and Dax Hill. I kind of think that is really, really going to be a very big emphasis for the Bengals this year. Bringing back two of the best guys that we had last year. I think that helps out a lot. I think that, having draft rumors around maybe picking up like a linebacker like Sonny Styles. I think those are rumors. And how much can we really look into that? and understand whether or not the Bengals are actually really going to make a real impact during the draft this year. I think the biggest fact, sorry, the World Baseball Classic's on. We're checking her out. Venezuela literally just crushed a home run. That's no good for USA. Anyways, so back to what we were saying. The draft rumors, they're rumors. Nobody knows what the Bengals are going to do. Really, all we know is the simple fact that the Bengals are going to bingle. And I really don't have a whole lot of faith in the draft until they prove that they can have one. I think that our major concern this year is going to be picking up someone that is game ready in the draft. Someone that we don't have to say, well, he's a stud or whatever. I think that making the roster moves that we have made, I think we bring in a presence in the linebacking core. I think we bring a solid running back 2 option in, someone that, can come in day one and be a good, solid RB2 to Chase Brown. And I don't think that we waste a quarterback pick. I don't think we waste a pick on a quarterback, quite honestly. I mean, if you think about it, why would we waste a quarterback pick? We got Joe Burrow. And at the end of the day, we're probably not going to be hoping and praying for a new quarterback halfway through the season, because hopefully Joe will be rip-roaring ready to go, and we'll have our offensive line studded up. Now, really, there's not really much to talk about this week. Was going to have some off-season topics to talk about, like the World Baseball Classic and, USA taking care of business against the Dominican Republic. That's kind of a big deal. Obviously, there was that iffy call right at the end for strike 3. Yeah, it looked low. If you didn't have the box on the TV, you would have thought it was a strike 2. Let's just be real. Okay, baseball is a game of human error. We're getting ready to put in where players can challenge those balls and strikes and challenge all these different calls. Does that make the game better? Does it make the game worse? Does it have more showmanship in the game? I mean, it makes it different. I don't know that it will make it worse. I don't know if it'll make it better or worse. Well, time will only tell. But really, all we have to talk about is Josh Johnson being signed to a 1-year deal. Of course, they're going to say veteran support behind Joe Burrow. Let's just be honest, it's not really a big deal. Signing someone like Josh Johnson, not really proving himself in the NFL right now. But Jonathan Allen, really hoping that he's going to be a big pickup on the team. Now, at the end of the day, the reason why we do this is because we love talking about the Bengals. We love having a weekly night where we get together with the guys when there's time to be able to talk and kind of express our views with the Bengals. And maybe some of you guys will listen, hear what we have to say, and comment, interact with our content. That's really why we're doing it. If you think that it's something that other people might like, or if you'd like to see more of it, again, like, follow, subscribe, share across our social media platforms. You can find us everywhere at Talkin_Bengals. You can find us at talkinbengals.com. You can find us on our Etsy store at CZN Enterprises. Also, you can check out Dubby for all of your pick-me-up needs with TBCFB10 for 10% off at dubby.gg.com. Again, we're talking Bengals. We appreciate your time. And at the end of the day, this show really just us having some fun every Tuesday night around 9:15. So if you didn't catch us this week on March 17th, Check us out next week on March 24th, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. See you guys. Hoo day.